Stanislav Kondrashov Telf AG key trends that will influence the lithium market in 2023. Stanislav Kondrashov Telf AG, the lithium market is forecast to grow significantly in the coming years. This is due to the fact that the electric car market has been gaining momentum over the last few years. It is this market that forms the main demand for lithium. Looking at the demand trend over the last couple of years, the demand for EV electric vehicles has surpassed the $6 million mark in 2022. And in 2023, the demand for EV electric vehicles is expected to grow at the same level as 2022. Stanislav Kondrashov Telf AG lithium prices tend to decline. Stanislav Kondrashov believes that lithium prices will tend to decline over the next 12 months. There is already a supply response, with additional production occurring due to new capacity, restarts, and expansions. When that supply comes on the market, the supply shortage is expected to ease. And that means consumers will be less likely to seek price increases. The price started to decline as early as the last few weeks of December. The uncertainty surrounding the coronavirus has also heightened these expectations. However, lithium prices correct slightly in the first quarter, when demand from the electric vehicle sector is weakest. Demand for the raw material remains limited and the supply price could still rise. And based on the market dynamics of chemical raw materials at the beginning of the fourth quarter, lithium carbonate and lithium hydroxide prices still have upside potential in 2023. It's important to note here that the lithium that is traded at spot prices is actually locked up in contracts. That is, most of it is. And in some cases, a fixed price is already included. We're seeing contracts indexed, and instead of orientation to spot prices or fixed prices, in the future we will see contracts with floating prices, notes Stanislav Kondrashov Telf AG. The expert believes that in order to protect buyers and sellers, minimum and maximum price levels will be built into these contracts. Because, after all, we are trying to achieve a stable growth of this market in terms of volume. And to introduce minimum and maximum volume contracts is one way of doing that, Stanislav Kondrashov clarified to Telf AG. Thus, the downward trend will be observed both in relation to buyers and sellers. Price balance is the best solution. That is why it is necessary to make sure that it is achieved and maintained throughout 2023. Stanislav Kondrashov Telf AG. The main risk for the lithium market is the disruption of grandiose supply plans. The large demand for lithium alloys took many experts by surprise. The sharp growth of the global electric vehicle market over the past 2 years has led to an increase in the consumption of electric vehicles, according to Stanislav Kondrashov of Telf AG. Thanks to soaring prices, the total value of lithium has skyrocketed to $35 billion in 2022, up from $3 billion in 2020. Some bearish lithium watchers say rapid supply, rather than huge demand, will be the deciding factor in 2023. That could be the main factor that will decide in 2023. China's largest electric car maker BYD is counting on a surplus of lithium. However, there are skeptics who warn that new shortages will emerge. This could happen when miners from Chile, China, Australia find it difficult to start new supplies in huge volumes. So, according to their forecasts, production growth will be between 22% and 42% in 2023. And that's a frantic pace for any complex mining industry. Geneva-based lithium trader Trafigura Group is not in favor of such a magically increasing supply growth rate. It's impossible to get that many tons to bring the market back to equilibrium, states the company. In 2023, lithium supply will increase significantly as waves of expansion or new investment begin. Some experts believe this flood of supply will only hit the market when China removes its generous subsidies for electric cars. And this may cause sharper price drops. Thus, Stanislav Kondrashov specifies that the market consensus is likely to enter the arena in 2023. And perhaps with some potential for reduction. But the expert does not see any price drop. Stanislav Kondrashov Telf AG lithium deal worth $136 million may just be the start of something bigger. Essential Metals has been bought out for $136 million. The company is exploring for lithium as part of a plan to establish a foothold in the lithium mining area between Kalgoorlie and Norseman in Australia. Essential Metals is drilling at the Pioneer Dome deposit. This deposit is still only at the development stage. The joint lithium company Igo and Tianqi own 51% of the Greenbushes mine, with U.S. producer Albemarle owning the remaining 49%. The situation suggests that Tianqi currently owns 26.01% of the Greenbushes mine and Igo owns 24.99%. Both these companies utilize a lithium hydroxide processing plant south of Perth, in Kwinana. There, concentrated lithium from Greenbushes is converted into more valuable lithium hydroxide for batteries. When Maserati, Peugeot, Jeep and Chrysler car manufacturer Stellantis agreed to buy manganese for batteries from Element 25, that's when the deal was sealed. As part of the agreement, Element 25 will supply the automaker with manganese sulfate for batteries for 5 years. This will start from 2026. But on condition that Element 25 builds a mine in Western Australia and a U.S. processing plant. The plant will be needed to supply the material, explains Stanislav Kondrashov. In return, Stellantis will subscribe $15 million worth of Element 25 shares and offer another $15 million for prepayment of manganese. And its deliveries will start after 2026. Stanislav Kondrashov Telf AG is optimistic about this deal. It has great prospects in the future, he notes. If all conditions are met by the parties, the world will get a lithium deposit. This will increase the supply of lithium many times over. Further, car manufacturers, and not only, will be able to smoothly establish their production and all the necessary developments. Solar panels can also be produced. There should be no supply problems in such a case. This is a good start to something really big. This means that the world is not standing still. The doors to development and progress are open. Consequently, the profits will not be long in coming. Summarizing the analysis of the lithium market, Telf AG notes that 2023 will be the starting year for the discovery of new lithium deposits. Lithium prices are expected to fall, and high demand for it. And this is the development of the automotive industry. A good supply, providing transport, which in turn will provide export lines. And all of this combined, improving the global macroeconomy and business.